Welcome back to week number 2 of our Get Outside series. Today we will talk tee work. That knob is critical, right? I don't like us doing a bottom hand without that knob because we lose control. If we're rolling our hands, it's going to create that bat action going down. Obviously we're going to be hitting it there. We don't want it high, we don't want it low, left, right. So the outside tee was about right there. So if you continue that line, the tee is the single best way for players of all skill levels to work on their game. Players at the highest level, they do 3 drills. They do overhand BP, front toss or flip, and our tee work. The tee gives us good, quick feedback on what our swings are doing. If we're casting around that swing, we're going to create energy. We're going to be hitting the ball too much to the side. If we're dropping our bat angle, we're going to be getting here. We're going to be hitting that ball high and to the right. If we're rolling our hands, it's going to create that bat action going down. So it gives us good feedback of what we're doing. First thing I wanted to address is our tee positioning. One of the big things I see players of all ages doing when we get up to this plate and we start hitting off the tee, we start kind of doing this thing as we hit off the tee. Notice the positioning off the plate right there. That is not anywhere close to where we typically stand. So when I encourage players to hit off the tee, I always like to have a plate there so that we address the plate like we properly should be. All right. And if you notice, here's my front hip, and you can see the distance out in front of my front hip that I've put that ball. The other thing I see young players doing is that when they set up that tee, they have the tee over here in the middle of the plate, like a lot of our old plastic rubber tees are made of. This home plate used to be a tee, and you can see they put it right there, which gives us a false sensation that we're trying to figure out some way to hit the ball off that tee like that. That's not how this is going to work. So when we put that tee for this middle pitch, we're going to be here, all right? Make sure you're in good position so that when I hit that baseball, I'm going to be in this position here. My right arm's going to be nice and strong, my top hand, to allow me to extend and hit through that baseball. All right, so I don't have to do kind of weird stuff to try to hit it. I can take a good hard swing and drive it right back where it came from. One drill I like to do, or 2 drills, is top hand and bottom hand. If you have access to other bats, my younger players, this is when you probably be able to pull out that old T-ball bat like such. My middle school, high school players, this is when you can pull out your old drop 10s from the glory days and swing this a little bit. I have an old wood bat that's got a little bit of density to it, and it's a little bit shorter. They sell these, but obviously you don't need anything like this to go out there and purchase to have some work and get it done. So the first thing we're going to start off with top hand. So for me being a right-handed hitter, that is my right hand. I put it in the same position that I normally would have it on the bat. And what this is going to create and force me to do is maintain a good swing with that top hand. All right. You can either have your hand down here, or you can cross your chest, kind of where you feel comfortable doing it. I wouldn't kind of let that arm just kind of fly around like that, so that when you're here, you can just go through there and get some good swings top hand. To the same thought, we're going to do bottom hand. So for me being a right-handed hitter, that's my left hand. I do like having a bat that you can put your knob on. The downside of using your own bat for that is if I were to swing this with my left hand with my regular bat, it would be a pretty tough drill. So that's why I like going with like our drop 10 versions or something like that. It makes it a little bit lighter so that we can control it a little bit. But that knob is critical, right? I don't like us doing a bottom hand without that knob because we lose control over that bat right there. I want us to feel like we have that knob so that when we come through that swing, we can hit that ball nice and hard just like that. All right, top hand, bottom hand, great drills for us to do. All right, we've moved up to my batting cage so I can demonstrate our next set of drills. Again, for the middle pitch, that ball is going to be about 8 inches in front of my front hip right there. The distance between ball and bat is about 8 inches. That could change for players forward and backwards just a little bit, depending on your size, but that's a general place to start at. Our goal for when we hit middle tee is to hit that line drive right back to the end. So that's my back screen. If your screen's closer, then obviously we're going to be hitting it there. We don't want it high, we don't want it low, left, right. So long cage gives us a good feel for that. Our first drill we're going to do is our outside pitch, okay? Outside tee. Huge pitch for us to continue to work on. Notice on the outside tee I have set up, it's right off my front hip, which makes it so when I come to that baseball, the bat angle is going to hit it just slightly off to the right. Not too far off to the right, but just a little bit. All right, and now we're going to move to our next drill, the inside tee. So the middle tee is there. I'm going to put a baseball where that middle tee was. The outside tee was about right there. So if you continue that line on right there, and now you have position for your inside tee. We'll have that line going straight across. Inside is now off my front hip, probably closer to about 1.5 feet. And we're going to try to hit that inside pitch off the tee to that back left corner. Another reason we came up to the batting cage was for our long cage game. Great game to be able to play against yourself, to keep you challenged and motivated. What I like to do for this game is set up points. So how I have it set up right here, it would probably be a good thing to think, anything that hits off the side net is maybe like 1 point. If it comes past this area here, right, if it enters this back area, it's 2 points. And then if it comes in this area and it hits the back screen, maybe it's 3 points. And you can even, if you have additional targets, you can do your targets as 4 points. Maybe do 10 swings and see how many points you can accumulate as you do it. For your long cage game, you could also incorporate to where if you hit like a top net in a certain area, it can be negative points and so forth. Depending on the skill level, age, you can adjust the points accordingly. In addition to the long cage game, you can also do some hitting in your backyard or a nearby field if you have space. What I recommend for that is, finding what our tennis players typically don't like to play with anymore. These type of tennis balls. They sell some wiffle balls. Great training depending on what obstacles are near and around. So right now, just going to be hitting tennis balls here. It's one of the joys of hitting something that we can see where it goes. That's why we like to hit, because we like to see where it goes as opposed to just into a net. So if you don't have a net, this is a good drill to see where it goes. So the oak tree is set up, got this tee set up for down the middle. This is going to be a ball that I want to hit towards that oak tree, as that's where down the middle pitch should be going. All right, and then like we were talking about on the outside tee, we can move that tee appropriately like such. And on the outside tee, my gazebo is a good thing to aim for. Again, it's right off my front hip, so that when I hit that ball, the angle of the bat's going to hit it that direction. And you can hit it like such. All right, good drills, get you outdoors. If you want to try the wiffle balls, obviously they're not going to fly as far. So it's good if your space is limited or there's things that are breakable. But a good, another drill for us to do. Thanks again for watching episode number 2, tee work. Again, you don't need a whole lot. Obviously you do need a tee. I like this tripod tee like this. You can invest a lot more money in like Tanner tees, for example. For me, as many kids as I work with, these tees stand up to a pretty good beating, as long as there's not too much metal contact. But that rubber piece off the top does a pretty good job withstanding the test of time. Tee, baseball, and if you don't have baseballs like I showed you, you can use tennis balls, wiffle balls, anything to get you on that tee and hitting the baseball. Thanks again, Carrboro Recreation Parks and Cultural Resources Department for supporting this video. Until next time, jump outside, hit off the tee, get your swings in, have some fun. Thanks.